Martin and Pat Washington from the Manchester Citizens Corporation. Welcome to Showcase Pittsburgh, Ahmed and Pat.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Let's get started. First, Manchester is a neighborhood of the city of Pittsburgh. A lot of people might not know exactly where it is. Tell us.
Manchester is located in the southwest portion of the North Shore. It's in between Chateau West and the central north side.
So if you go back behind Heinz Field, back towards 65.
Exactly.
Back in that corner.
Yes, 65 is the western border of Manchester.
It's such a neat old neighborhood. It has a lot of history. It's probably one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city from the way it looks, and it's been rebuilt and being revitalized right now.
You're absolutely right. Manchester was founded in the early 1800s in the area that is now Chateau West. It became a bustling center for commerce. It was the head of paper mills and steel mills, and the population actually tripled in the late 1800s. And
right now, though, it's growing and booming. I know that they started revitalizing the area maybe a decade ago, and it's really big now.
Exactly.
Why that area? Why that neighborhood? What are we thinking?
Manchester is great. You know, it's flat. It's located next to many cultural attractions, the Rivers Casino, the Carnegie Science Center, PNC Park, Heinz Stadium.
And you can be downtown in 3 minutes.
Exactly. It's a walk away.
Depending on the traffic. We also have a great walking tour that is available in a house tour. I want to get to that coming up. But you started the Manchester Citizens Corporation, Pat and Ahmed, you both live there, is that correct?
Yes.
What is the history? How did this start and why the passion?
Part of the passion has to do with the history. As a matter of fact, I was a little girl, young girl, and my mother was a part of it. And so part of what you see with MCC is the second generation of people like myself and other board members who are actually there. But my mother and a group of other people started trying to get the citizens to do something about the neighborhood back in the 60s. So I was in high school or in school. And at that time, it didn't seem very important to me, but now it really does. And from that point, Manchester Citizens Corporation just grew. It's always been a group of people who are just strong advocates for the community.
Are all of the buildings in Manchester part of the Historical Society of Pittsburgh? It's so to go in to redo things, you can't tear them down. You can't. It's organized, correct?
Yes, Manchester is organized. It's actually part of a federally designated historic district and a city designated historic district, which means there are certain rules that you have to abide by in terms of demolition and construction.
I know years ago on the news it might not have been the most desirable place, but that has certainly changed, and you've lived through it all. You've seen it come and go and up and down. What's it like living in Manchester today?
It's great living in Manchester. It's such a great close-knit community. People are very friendly, and we can walk everywhere we want to go. We've got some really good neighbors there, and so this great house tour that we're trying to push right now is one of the ways we're trying to get new people to also consider Manchester.
Before we got started, I told you I was on a detour yesterday that took me up Brighton Road. I went right through, and I'm sitting, some of the architecture in those old row houses, beautiful. It's a neat, older community in Pittsburgh that, as you said, built in the 1800s.
Yeah, irreplaceable.
The great house sale and the walking tour, as we move forward, these are some of the houses that have been redone over the past couple of years?
Yes, we're having a great house sale and tour, July 23rd and 24th. It's going to start at 9 a.m. with a brief presentation, and then the tour will have folks go out into the community and view buildings that are for sale, that need to be rehabilitated, or vacant lots for which they can purchase and have new construction models built on that site. So when you go on the tour, you're going to see a huge board of the exterior of the home and the potential floor plans.
If you go in and you do a new build, I'm assuming you can't just put a ranch house. You have to do something that would be in sync with the rest of the neighborhood.
Exactly. We actually flew to Chicago to an area called Kenwood to get an idea of some contemporary architecture which fit in with the historic architecture and facade of Manchester.
So you would need to maintain the street facade and then totally modern behind it.
Exactly.
Are a lot of people going over and having this vision, or a lot of people going through Manchester and thinking, I want to do something big and elaborate, and you can't build neighborhoods like
it's hard
this
not to see the potential when you drive through the neighborhood. You see that it's flat. You see that it has a good amount of green space. It still has brick sidewalks. These are amenities that you really can't find in neighborhoods at an affordable price.
And it's a neighborhood that the times that I've been through there, when you drive through it, you think, I don't think I've ever been in a neighborhood in Pittsburgh like this. And if you've never driven through, you're thinking, I didn't know this part of Pittsburgh existed.
Exactly, and that's what we're trying to change with this great house sale and tour, to invite people and see what Manchester has to offer as a community of choice in Pittsburgh.
The great house sale will take place just for that weekend, or this is just a chance to open people's eyes about Manchester?
The great house sale will take place that particular event just that weekend, but then we hope people come back that are interested in purchasing Manchester thereafter.
How many houses are on the walking tour? Now, these are houses that have already been rehabilitated and...
Well, some of the homes, we had a great house sale in 2009.
Okay.
So some of the homes are sold, but they will be staged and you'll be able to see a tour of the finished product. And so it will help people visualize what that vacant structure could be like once it's complete.
And Pat will be standing on her front porch to make sure that we don't get any riffraff over there.
Sitting on my front
sitting
porch.
On your front porch, eyeballing everybody. Are there a lot of older Pittsburghers who, like you, and not saying that you're all, who lived your entire life over in that neighborhood?
Yes, there are. But that's what's really good about Manchester. It's a real nice mix. It's young people, young families, older people. So it's a nice mix, a very diverse community.
To me, that would be one of the greater things, where I'd want to live next door to somebody who's lived there all their life, who can tell me what that building was or what was in the store down the street.
Right. Nobody knows the buildings by address. It's just who lived there or who played where.
Once again, the great house sale and walking tour is coming up when?
July 23rd and 24th.
If you want some more information, all you have to do is call Ahmed at 412-323-1743 or check out the website manchestercitizens.org.